Hi guys and welcome to another anime adventure. Today we're heading out to see the Witch Watch Party. It's me. Try saying that fast 3 times. Witch Watch Party, Witch Watch Party, Witch Watch Party. Well, I somehow did it. So this came a bit out of the blue. We're actually having a 3-episode preview event at the cinema. Luckily one of my local cinemas will be showing it. This is a bit weird because we don't normally get these sort of events. We normally get them a lot in America, but normally UK they're skipped over. This one's been done again by the people at Anime Limited. So thanks again for putting this in the cinema. So I have not read the manga that this anime is based on. So I do have a friend who tells me it's a really good manga. I believe it was in Shonen Jump. So it's going to be interesting to see what the latest and greatest Shonen Jump is going to be. Looks like it's going to be a comedy series, which is a good thing because I do like a lot of comedy anime stuff like Seki K. So I'm hoping if there's anything half as good as Seki K, we're in for a good time. Now it's time to go to the Witch Watch Party. Damn, every time I say it, I just feel like... Well, they're doing a quiz night, that's interesting. Let's buy a ticket. And here we are. I think it's the first showing, it's an English subset. Wow, it actually... There we go, we actually do have a picture from it. Okay, one other person is in there, so I am not alone. I'm gonna go row 2. The person who's already booked, just booked like the prime seat. Damn, that's how much is for adult now? Wow. Damn, I haven't been to Odeon for a while, that's quite pricey for a ticket. Woo, movie time. So I'm back from the Witch Watch Party. What did I think? Now before I start, I must admit something. I have never read the Witch Watch manga, so I totally went into this blind. I wanted to go into it as blind as possible. I did know it was a comedy, and I also did know it was from Shonen Jump. So what is Witch Watch all about? It's about our main character Mauricio, who actually secretly is an ogre. But he appears as a human. Unfortunately, he cannot show this strength to... His father tells him that he has to hold back on his strength because, well, he's an ogre. He's going to absolutely destroy everyone. I just realised I could have just made so many Shrek jokes there. Our other main character is a girl called Nico, and she is a witch. At the start of episode 1, we see that Nico is going away to learn more about being a witch. Now we cut to many years later, and we can see that both our protagonists have grown up. Mauricio's dad tells him that he's going away on a business trip for a very long time. You know, that old anime stereotype. And guess who is coming to stay with him during that time? Nico, who is now a fully grown witch. Yeah, this is kind of a weird stereotype we had probably in anime in more the early 2090s. The guy has to move in with a gal. I noticed that trope doesn't happen as much more in regular anime. It's almost like the isekai trope has taken over. So it was kind of nice to see Blast from the Past because I grew up on a lot of shows like that. Of course, Tenchi Muyo, Am My Goddess, Love Hina. I think that's the first time anyone's mentioned Love Hina in the last 20 years. So Mauricio is waiting for Nico to show up. And guess who comes smashing through the window? No other than everyone's favourite witch, Nico. This is for the first time we see Nico's magic in action, as of course she's flying on a broom. Unfortunately, she smashed the window, but they have to fix it. She says that she can fix it with her magic, but Mauricio will have to give up something precious to him, which is his car. So when she fixed the window, in exchange, it breaks the car. Mauricio is definitely not happy about it. The watch party was the first 3 episodes with a few behind the scenes sections at the start and the end. So we got to see what the show was like for the first 3 episodes. The show feels a lot like something like The Disastrous Life of Seki K. This was also in Shonen Jump, I believe. And you can tell this is in Shonen Jump because they make so many references to Shonen Jump property, including a really, really funny one to Hunter x Hunter, which I won't tell you about, but if you know Hunter x Hunter, it's quite notorious. I mean, there was a load of Dragon Ball jokes, and of course they're going to have Dragon Ball jokes. Because that's the thing you're going to make fun of the most, because it makes the most money. Mauricio has been put in charge of Nico, and he tells her on the first day of school to make sure she doesn't tell everybody that she is a witch. And I was like, oh no, it's one of these tropes. But the show was reminding me a lot of 2 shows I used to watch when I was a lot younger. One being Sabrina the Teenage Witch, and the other being Fairly Odd Parents. These shows actually were really great, even though both of them have notoriously not great later series. Of course, one of the tropes of both shows was everybody not being able to find out that the main character has access to some sort of magical powers. So I went, okay, we're going to have this whole trope, and this section literally had Nico accidentally using magic on Marishiro, and this is actually where the Hunter x Hunter joke comes in, and just the awkwardness of it all. And I was like, okay, we're gonna have this. Oh, you can't. And she just flat out tells everybody she is a witch. Now, Richard didn't want her to tell the class because he wanted her to have friends, because when she was younger, she didn't have friends. But this is where the wholesome thing is, that when everyone finds out she's rich, people still want to be her friend, and she ends up making a really wholesome friend group. This is actually a really wholesome scene because they sort of end up going to dinner at a Denny's-like restaurant. And there's a bit where all these bullies are going to come and harass Nico, and Marishiro's standing on the roof to make sure that he's protecting her. It's already wholesome to see Marishiro actually generally does care about Nico. So these 3 episodes are sort of cut up into smaller sections, getting into many sort of smaller misadventures, but it does seem like there is potentially a bigger overarching arc going on. Definitely something to keep you watching. I will admit, it really was television animation. I mean, there was some pretty good animation sort of up in front, but there was plenty of times I could see there were a lot of CGI characters in the background. Now I understand TV production is really hard, and I understand for group shots. This isn't Dan level, and plus this is a comedy, so I'm not expecting there to be like loads of action scenes. This is nowhere near bad as Blue Lock Season 2. There actually was movement, and I guess a show like this isn't going to need a lot of movement like something like Blue Lock Season 2 actually needed. I will say the comedy was top notch. Now, I do love anime and I do love comedy, but I will admit there are a few animes that really make me laugh, but I never liked to the classic Simpsons or South Park level. But there generally was some absolute zingers, and it was quite interesting because they showed the behind the scenes with the 2 main voice actors, and they were saying that actually they were allowed to improv a lot, and they were even saying that's something they were quite proud about, saying that normally it's very strict, that they have to sort of keep to a script, but there literally would just be scenes where it will say this character needs to say something, so they were free to like improv lines. They wanted to add a joke here or there, which really does add. And I do believe even stuff like The Simpsons and Family Guy and South Park, there were moments where actors just splurted something out and they just kept it in the episode. I saw it sub, but it's going to be really interesting to see how the dub adapts that. Normally, a lot of the time, the dub can be a lot funnier. Of course, they're going to translate the humour. I do understand sometimes some of the humour is going to go above. Overall, I'm going to say Witch Watch is a really fun watch, and I'm generally really looking forward to picking this series up. It's going to be on Netflix, it's going to be on Crunchyroll, and if you're in America, it's on Hulu. We don't get Hulu over here. I think Japan and America are the only 2 places you actually can get Hulu. It's really awesome that Anime Limited have done a release like this again. Really shocking how near it is to the Gundam release. And plus, this one's right when the Japanese release is on. I really hope you're watching Anime Limited, you carry on forward. Now, it's really useful to have something earlier and we can get content out about it so that people have the option to go and watch shows and find shows like this. Also, I believe the dub will be coming out at the same time, which is awesome because I am more of a dub watcher. I do just like to sit down and watch things. But I feel like this is a show, generally, you're going to get different jokes depending on whether you watch the sub and the dub. So I think this is actually maybe a case of watch it subbed and dubbed. I know it's a lot like the Dan release. It was released on Netflix and Crunchyroll at the exact same time. And I generally like releases like this. It means more people have the ability. I do know what we're covering the other day is Gundam Quacks, and I do know there's quite a lot of people that don't have Amazon. It's totally true. So I generally am really hoping in the future as many possible multiple releases on Netflix and Crunchyroll at the same time, so that more casual fans can also get into it, and of course the hardcore anime fans will be able to watch it. I strongly recommend Witch Watch, and please do go and watch it when it comes out on April 6th. And Anime Limited, I really do hope there are more releases like this. Anyway, we're Anime in UK, and we take a British look at the world of anime. Don't forget to smash that subscribe button.